Hi there, welcome back to Better Creating. Today I want to dive deep into the iPad, but not just the basics that everyone knows. I want to talk to you about the hidden gems and probably some powerful features that you haven't even spotted. So whether you've just picked up your first iPad or you've been using one for years, I reckon you'll discover something new today that will completely change how you use the device. We're going to look at these areas: gestures and navigation tricks, Apple Pencil and essential accessories, multi-device workflows, and some customization hacks to die for. And thank you to Moft for sponsoring today's video and creating possibly the best iPad case I've tried to date for portability and versatility. Time to unlock the true potential of your iPad and get ahead of the curve in 2025. Let's start with some of the most powerful but underrated features of the iPad: trackpad gestures and display techniques that can create a truly fluid experience. Now, I recently bought the M4 iPad Pro with the Apple Magic Keyboard, and that trackpad support has become incredibly sophisticated. The thing is though, many of us users only utilize the basic scrolling and tapping. So here are some great little gestures to know that transform how you navigate this thing. 3-finger swipes up will access the app switcher. 3-finger swipes left or right switch between the apps. Pinch with 3 fingers to go home. Swipe from the right edge will reveal slide over apps. So I think mastering these gestures is going to dramatically reduce your time spent navigating between applications and workspaces. I've actually found these to be the kind of movements that become muscle memory once you've tried them a little bit, and it will absolutely skyrocket your productivity. Okay, next, if your iPad runs on the M series chip, you can actually go even further to improve your navigation. Add an external display for an expanded workspace, and then you get that best version of Stage Manager. Now, this is going to give you really cool navigation options, and it will show you different apps on each screen. You can drag content around, resize windows really seamlessly for the optimal setup. And actually, to do that, I recommend checking out your display zoom settings on your monitor to maximize your real estate. Now, with a proper, say, USB-C dock, but certainly a good Bluetooth keyboard and mouse, this transforms the iPad into a pretty legitimate desktop replacement with that dual screen setup. And at times it can actually rival traditional computers. More on that later, but first, let's be honest, that's likely not why you've got an iPad. So let's ensure that you have what I think are the 2 essential accessories that everyone needs to support a great iPad workflow, so that the iPad actually allows you to use this thing flexibly. So yes, whilst the Magic Keyboard is great, it's pretty spenny, right? And does kind of make your iPad a bit hefty and less like that beautiful sheet of glass we all hoped for when we bought it. So let's talk a couple of essential iPad accessories that I think champion its unique portable niche as an interactive tablet and not a laptop replacement. While a good keyboard is brilliant, you can just use any Bluetooth keyboard option that you might own. So my must-haves are A, the Apple Pencil, and B, finding a case that actually supports that flexible use case and form factor. That can be tricky, and it's where today's sponsor comes in. Meet the Moft Dynamic Folio. This is the lightest floating creative station for your iPad. Unlike traditional folios, Moft's origami-inspired design combines ultra portability with incredible versatility. Now, what separates this from other iPad cases I've tried is how it elevates your iPad whilst remaining incredibly lightweight. So with a simple fold, it lifts your device 2 to 3 inches off the surface, creating a more comfortable viewing angle and better ergonomics, especially for long creative sessions. The origami-inspired one-piece design unlocks 5 conventional angles and I think 20 unconventional positions. Let me show you my favorites in this setup. First, there's a floating creation mode with a 30-degree angle and a 2-inch elevation, perfect for drawing and writing. I use this constantly when I'm taking notes or sketching, say, thumbnail concepts. Then there's the theater mode, which gives you a 60-degree angle and 3-inch elevation, ideal for watching videos or browsing references, or just using your iPad as a second screen with your laptop. So for reading longer articles or browsing social media, the portrait reading mode gives you either a 70 or 80 degree angle, keeping your content in that nice position for when you're reading. And what's particularly cool though is the dual screen mode at 15 degrees of angle, which lets you use your phone alongside your iPad, kind of perfect for referencing information or joining video calls on one device while you're taking notes on the other. But I think probably the most surprising mode that I actually use a lot is this leg mount angle. So since this folio folds the way it does, it makes a brilliant stable grip for when your iPad is on your knee. So in say my show rehearsals in a rehearsal room or in-person meetings, this is going to be super useful. But what impresses me most is just how lightweight and thin this folio really is. At just 10.5 ounces, it has virtually no bulk to the iPad. So if you want to transform how you use your iPad, click my link in the description to get your hands on the Moff Dynamic Folio. You'll be amazed how slim and brilliant this thing is as a complementary thing for your iPad. Genuinely, like, well done Moff, because this is brilliant. And the magnets, oh, okay, back to the Apple Pencil. Just get one. It's the key to unlocking the iPad. I have a wider guide video on Apple Pencil for some tips on that if you want to see it after this. Let's break down the essentials. One of my favorites is the lock screen notes feature. Did you know that you can double tap on the iPad on a lock screen to instantly either create a new note or access your most recent one? I've actually found this to be game changing for quick capture of ideas or sketches when inspiration strikes, right? But here's what most people actually miss. You can customize which notes appear, either your most recent note or a fresh one. Another powerful feature is Scribble, which extends far beyond Apple's Notes app. This handwriting to text conversion works in virtually any text field across the system and all those third-party apps. You can handwrite searches in Safari, fill out web forms, put a note into Notion, compose emails, and add calendar events, all without switching to the keyboard. The recognition engine, I think, has improved significantly, handling even challenging handwriting with a pretty good accuracy, and can even clear up your handwriting as it goes to make it more legible. Cool, I need that. Now, my favorite Scribble pencil tips: a line down for an extra space and a squiggle over a word to delete it. Try it. Now, the Apple Pencil also has a brilliant drawing feature that most users probably never discover. When you're drawing a geometric shape, instead of lifting the pencil at completion, keep the tip on the screen and pause briefly, and the system will automatically transform your rough sketch into a perfectly rendered shape. This shape recognition supports quite an array of forms. Lines, curves, squares, rectangles, circles, ovals, hearts, triangles, stars, clouds, pentagons, thought bubbles, arrows, and continuous lines with 90-degree turns. Okay, hopefully you found that reasonably impressive. If you didn't and you're just finding this valuable, either way, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't yet, because it goes a long way and we can stay connected for more great ideas like this. And let me know in the comments if you've got any hidden gems of your own for making the iPad better. Next though, those Apple Pencil features might supercharge your note-taking and creative work, but without mastering customization options, your iPad interface won't reflect your unique style and work for you as you need it. So let's talk customization and focus tips. Now, I've got a full video on this, but did you know that you can completely redesign your home screen layouts for different parts of your day? With the latest iPad OS, you can set up a morning, daytime, and evening layout or a certain type of focus mode that automatically switches on time or location. So this means you could wake up to a home screen focused on your morning routine, new widgets, planning apps, calendar in front of you as you need. Then when you arrive at work, it automatically switches to your productivity layout for project management and all that. And then finally, when you get home in the evening, it transforms into your play and creative zone. Pretty cool, right? So this is all done with focus modes, which have evolved to become incredibly powerful. You can create highly specialized profiles that go far beyond the default options. And the key to creating custom home screens is that they correlate with that focus mode, displaying only the relevant apps and widgets for specific contexts. For example, I've created a deep work focus mode that shows only when I want to work on something in a focused way, and I just changed to it manually. And what that's doing is also blocking all the notifications I need to, except for those really important personal ones. And when I activate this mode, the iPad transforms to a distraction-free workspace that is really dedicated to the task at hand. So to set this up, just long press on your home screen, tap the plus icon at the top, and create a new page with the apps and widgets that you need for each context. You can then link those pages to a specific focus mode, which you can pull down in the top right and click on them to edit, and use filters to auto change the system custom even between light and dark mode so that it matches your designs. I've got a full guide video on how to do all of this, link below if you want some more info. Now, another power move is to maximize your dock, and unlike the iPhone, the iPad dock can hold up to 13 permanent apps. Plus, it reserves space on the right for your most recently used applications, if you want that. But here's a pro tip that most people miss, I think. You can add folders to your dock. So each folder can contain multiple apps, effectively expanding your quick access way beyond what you might otherwise think. And if you want to take your iPad customization to the next level, check out my complete iPad customization video, as well as, well, these. I've created a collection of minimal icon and cover packs that I've used to customize my iPad and give it a more coherent, calmer look, hide those app notification badges, and remove some distractions. So these packs include custom app icons, aesthetic home screen backgrounds, and everything to kind of even disappear the dock if you want to do that. Check it out at bettercreating.com if that tickles your fancy. Oh, and we recently added some macOS optimized versions that are reduced in size and rounded at the edges if you want to add them to your Mac desktop too. It just doesn't work for native Apple apps. And well, that very nicely leads us to the final section of tips: how to maximize your iPad with a Mac. Did you know your iPad can serve as an excellent second display to your Mac through Sidecar? Now, what many users don't realize is that this functionality works wirelessly as long as both devices are signed in to the same Apple ID and have AirPlay enabled. So I've recently been using Sidecar by going into the monitor settings on my Mac and displaying OBS on it as a second monitor when I'm filming my Notion or productivity tutorials in my studio. It's super cool, remotely connected to my laptop and then rigged to my camera mount here on a magnetic iPad dock on VESA. You can either extend your desktop or mirror it. You can even put it in front of a teleprompter so you can look people in the eyes while you talk to them on a video call. And with Mac applications that support tablet input, it's particularly useful for creative professionals using applications like Photoshop or Illustrator. I personally love this feature for things like Final Cut Pro because you can display a preview of what you're editing on a full OLED display on those M4 iPads. Fantastic. But perhaps even more impressive is that universal control feature, which allows you to use a single keyboard and mouse or trackpad across your Mac and your iPad seamlessly. And a lesser known aspect of this feature is that you can actually support multiple iPads simultaneously. I love that you can also drag folders across from one device to the other and they'll kind of pop out the side of the screen and come across with the mouse. You can arrange up to 3 devices, a Mac plus 2 iPads, and move your cursor naturally between all the screens, dragging and dropping files across devices as if they were a single extended desktop. This is an absolute game changer, particularly when you're working on, say, social media and at your computer. All right, if you take one thing from this video, I reckon it should be this. The true power of the iPad lies in finding the specs and use cases that a laptop or phone just can't compete with. There's always another layer of functionality waiting to be discovered. And since you are interested in optimizing your tech, clearly, to work for you, because you're still here, you should check out this video next for the simple organization strategies that I think everyone should be combining with tech like this. Don't forget to check out my minimal icon packs, make, linked below, and, well, click on my face to get subscribed if you haven't, and I'll see you on the next one.